Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, people. People. It's lovely to see you. Do make yourselves as comfortable as you want. You can wear masks, you can take masks off. It's totally up to you. But it is great to see you. So thank you very much for coming in. We are recording this tonight, so if I occasionally look at the camera here and talk to people at home, please don't be offended. I'm just chatting to them at home who they will get it later on. We'll send them out at the end of this week, along with all the slides, so you get a copy of those. And on the slides will be the links to what the team are going to be talking to you about tonight as well. It's just lovely to have you here. It's lovely to have you back with us. It's been a bit strange having everything at arm's length. And having everything at arm's length, it's very hard for us to have those open, honest dialogues that we just need to have with you about your children, for your children. And so it's great to have you back. Thank you for coming tonight. I'm going to introduce you to the team while we're just having a technical hitch. They're just sorting out the PowerPoint over here. It's always the way. We've got Mr. Haworth. Many of you will know is our 4H teacher, and we've got Mrs. Bedford, who is our 4B teacher, and Mrs. Skollick, who is our teaching assistant in Year 4, but she is also in charge of looking after our SEMH provision, so our social emotional health provision for those girls who need a little bit of one-to-one support, particularly over the last 18 months, those girls who have found things a bit more tough to reintegrate back into school. And we have behind you, we've got Mrs. Blackwood, who's our head of sport, and Mrs. Allavac, our deputy head for teaching and learning. Is it working? Yay! Yay! Look at that! Look at that! That's timing for you. Right.
Read that and I'm going to sit by the side.
In true quality style, the post-it notes are for the team to stand so they can see into the camera. So. Yeah, it's a bit Swiss Heath Robinson, but it's all right. And I'm going to leave you with the team. If you have any questions at the end about the curriculum, and we have time, that's absolutely fantastic. If not, the team will be out in the car park where it's a bit cooler, and they can answer your questions afterwards. All right, thank you very much.
I can't even see it. Right, okay. I'm slightly concerned. That looks like a drone. This thing here, I'm going to fly it off. Thank you for coming, as Mr. Williams said. But the last time I stood here in front of parents was 2 years ago, because we couldn't do it last year, and that was the first time I'd done it at this school. So I'm not quite as nervous as I was then, and it's lovely to see you in person rather than through our screens. Talking of screens, let's see if we can get this. There we go. So obviously we've been introduced. The one thing I wanted to add was that Mrs. Bedford and Miss Blackwood will be sharing 4K until Mrs. King returns in November.
That's right. So, and I will be the form teacher. I need to stand on a post-it. There we go. So I will be the form teacher. You can contact me for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Miss Blackwood will be with the girls on Thursday or Friday, but you can use either of our emails. It's absolutely fine. One or the other of us will respond to you.
In terms of the girls' teachers, there's a massive, huge list there, and I think the girls are familiar with all of the names there, as I'm sure many of you are. A couple of additions this year. We have Mr. Staines is going to be taking the girls for computing. He's also got the girls in Year 5, he's a form teacher in Year 5 as well. For arts, we've got Miss McKeever, who I think have certainly met 4H already, and they seem to have a lovely lesson, and she'll be teaching both classes. And Mr. Hammond has joined Miss Blackwood's PE team as well. He's a football coach, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he'll be doing PE with them and some of the after-school clubs as well. Okay, that's us. And obviously, as I say, I know we've had the emails from the reps, so if there's any reps in, thank you already. I hope you got my reply. I think. Excellent. Thank you very much. So that's the team. Huge team, big team. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay. So you were going to talk about price values.
Yeah. So price values are the same.
It's the bottom one.
No, that's the laser spin. So prize values are the same, where the girls are awarded these in Celebration Assembly, and then their name is listed on the tree just outside here. And all teachers award the girls, giving that affirmation for doing those positive things, encouraging that positive behaviour rather than looking at what they maybe should be doing instead. So the price values are the same as last year, with our values underpinned by them. So yeah, the girls are very familiar with that, and the teachers, not just form teachers, but all teachers are encouraged and do award the girls that are regarded in Friday's assembly. Curriculum?
Yeah.
Back to you, Mr. Hillwood.
Back to me, can I have a thing, please? I feel it's my comfort remote control. So our curriculum overview, I believe, is on MIS, and is also being sent to you, I believe, with basic the view of what we're doing for each subject, in each topic for the autumn term, and obviously spring term and summer term, and obviously subsequent communication going out as well. We've also, the light bulb there is how you guys can help us at home, because we wanted to share some of our work with you as well. That's the pointer. This one. So this is a new design, I think, this year, isn't it?
Yeah, new curriculum.
New curriculum. We've got all the topics there. There's a couple more other slides. It's working. And what's good, obviously, from the list of teachers that you saw, is there's lots of specialist teaching. Whereas Mrs. Bedford and I will be doing English, and this is all about the three of us are doing maths, where obviously the girls are split into three smaller groups. A lot of the other lessons are done by specialist teachers, who the girls will know from previous years anyway. Okay, so as I say, the content is there. These are ways in which you could help support the girls at home. I'm not going to stand and read it out or expect you to read it from there, it's quite difficult to see. There's some subsequent ideas later on, and also because we've changed what we're going to be doing for homework slightly, so we'll come on to that in a minute, if that's okay. You want us to do ancient Egypt?
Yes, just wanted to introduce the topic that your girls will be going to do this term. So they may have already told you about it. So it's ancient Egypt, and there's some very excited girls who have already shared their knowledge with me this week. So for this term, they're going to be looking at geography, human and physical geography of ancient Egypt, looking at important physical features and the impact that they had on daily life. They will be looking at Egyptian daily life as well, and in particular they'll be studying important pharaohs, looking at the pyramids. Mummification is always a really, really fun one that they love because it's really gory and grisly. So that's pretty much what we'll be looking at this term. As always, there'll be cross-curricular links. So there's in science, I think there's going to be. Are you going to be looking at something in science to do with ancient Egypt?
Not this half. This half term we're
No mummification?
no,
Real life
classification
mummification.
and animals, plants, and we're going to Hitchy Wood to do some outside studies in a couple of weeks as well. We have linked with maths as well. Done a little bit. We introduced with some maths with place value this week.
The number system. The
And our class novel, Secrets of the Sun King, is set in modernish times and in ancient Egypt. So there's lots of cross-curricular learning to be done through that, to do with the humanities topic as well.
When it does link, we make the links. If it doesn't naturally link with the curriculum, then we won't force the links.
Yeah. Okay. We are also pointing that. Subsequent topic in spring. This was from a couple of years ago. These girls are now in year 7, I think. Around the World in 80 Days is our next topic for spring term. We had to do this because of COVID remotely, and I found that quite a challenge, to be fair, because this is all about world trade, fair trade, how the girls will find out where their clothes and their food is produced from different parts around the world, what effect that has on the producers and the consumers, It's very much with an emphasis on equality and to help the girls make the right choices when they're purchasing or looking at where things are, as I say, manufactured. This photo was taken in here a few years ago, where the girls get allocated a chosen country to research, and they can come in that country's traditional dress, make food from that particular country, and it's all part of a big research project. We weren't able to do that last year for obvious reasons, so we're hoping we can do that again. And it is something that, as I say, this is my third year here in Year 4. The first year I was here, we were able to do that in school. Remotely, it was quite tricky, so now we're back in school. I think the girls are really going to enjoy that. And they get to do their own, as I say, do their own research as well, which helps their independence. The next topic is the Tudors. Something, again, lots of grisly, gruesome Tudor stuff that the girls can sink their teeth into, which we do in the summer term. Tudors was something I also know quite a lot about, quite passionate about, because I specialise in the Tudors at my old school as well. We did manage to get to Hampton Court, just with the previous Year 4 for the summer term, which was great. This is Hook Court, which is hopefully going to be where we're going to do our residential. Obviously, we have to say, hopefully, at the moment we don't know. It is booked in. It is booked in, fingers crossed. So hopefully we're able to do that. So that's going to be exciting. Again, that photo is from a few years ago when we were last able to go. So certainly in terms of the main topics mentioned there, there's lots of cross-curricular links that we'll be able to do there with the girls. Okay, the dreaded H word. Okay, homework.
The homework, they'll be getting English and maths every single week, as they would normally have done previously. The English, they'll be needing to do 30 to 40 minutes weekly, and that will be given out on a Monday, so it will be given in the following Monday, so they have the weekend as well, if needed. There's a few changes to the English homework this year, in that we are focusing really mainly on spellings. So they'll have their spelling list that they'll be given every Monday, so they'll learn those words, and there might be some activities to go along with that for those spelling words. And in addition to that...
Can I just jump
yes,
in? Sorry
absolutely.
to interrupt. The spelling test, the spellings will be given out on a Monday, and then the test will be the following Monday, which is slightly different to last year. So the girls do have a week to learn their spellings. Based on how we organised it last year, they will be given, the spellings will follow a particular weekly spelling pattern rather than 10 random words, because what we've tended to see over the years is the girls will focus on 10 whatever words they get 10 out of 10, which is brilliant, it's what we want, and then forget it for the rest of the time. So we're hoping that we're kind of advocating this idea of smart spelling. So there's a group of words that fit that category, and then the girls go, oh, I've got some more. And then so that it becomes more sort of organic spelling as well. And that's going to be alongside the reading journals as well.
And just to add to that, I think part of the idea behind that is that by introducing those words on a Monday, we can then try to incorporate those words in our lessons throughout the rest of that week. So it's just consolidating and reinforcing and putting those words into real life context, which is great for spelling learning.
Reading journals, we were going to...
Yeah, the reading journals. The girls haven't had these yet, but the reading journals are going to look a little bit different this year, and we're hoping this is something that girls are going to get really excited by. We're going to give them the opportunity to cover these books and really make them their own, and something that they can get very passionate and involved about, and we're hoping that you can do that with them as well. So there'll still be an opportunity for you to make your parent comments, and I think the expectation is still that they're reading aloud with a parent 3 times a week.
Absolutely.
As it was last year in Year 4. And it's not just hearing them reading, it's engaging with what they're reading, showing an interest, having a discussion about what they're reading, checking that they're understanding as well, because being able to read out loud fluently isn't the same necessarily as actually understanding what they're reading, and it's those conversations you have with them about character and setting and why did the author do this. So the more that you can engage with their reading, the more that they will get out of it. I'm sure they'll be very enthusiastic to show you their reading journals when they arrive. They haven't got them yet, and we're hoping it's going to be a really, I don't know.
I think that for me that it's a more grown-up version of a reading record, and we're introducing them into year 4, year 5, and year 6. So by the time the girls progress from 5 to 6, they'll know exactly what they're going to be doing with them. It's a more interesting way than just reading and having you guys read well page 93 to 80, 93 to 84. They're reading backwards. They're reading from in other countries' books. So that we might encourage them to draw a character from the book and annotate what that character's feeling in that particular time in the story. Other things, we might get them to write a letter to the author to compliment them on how well they're enjoying their book, or a twist that comes up in a particular chapter. So we're going to give the girls ownership. It will be quite challenging at first because it's new, isn't it? You kind of don't like change sometimes, but I think moving forward, the fact that they're progressing into 5 and 6 with these reading journals, I think they're going to be really good. And when we get them, we can we'll fill the girls in, and we'll let you know as well a few more details there. Okay, maths homework. Did you mention maths homework? I can do that quickly.
Yeah.
Same kind of time frame. It will probably do 1 week worksheet based and 1 week on one of our apps, such as Mathletics. When it's worksheet based, we would still encourage the girls, if they want to do it on the sheet or on Shobi, if they do it on the sheet, they can take a photo and upload it to Shobi to save them coming in with what starts off as a pristine piece of A4 paper that comes in like a scrumpled up ball of paper, and we've all seen it, and we've all done it. So, and it's better for the environment as well, I think. So that's homework. Still pressing the wrong button. Alongside to encourage the girls to read, which is so important, Mrs. McNeil has been on the board with this, I believe. This reading recommendation list is available for you on, I think it's Common Docs on MIS. I did have a look myself, but I can't show you on my MIS because I think it's slightly different to yours.
I was going to say, if anyone wants to look afterwards, I have printed one copy, but it's like 50 pages long. It's by genres, there's different genres, journey right through from reception to year 6 in different genres. Plus there are also 50 books for year 3, year 4, year 5, so
this is amazing, really.
It's there to just support you if you're sort of wondering what books or what.
Because we were saying to the girls this week, and we say it all the time when we get a new class or a new year group, that we've got children, we know what it's like. You can't force somebody to read, and the more you push, the more the girls often push back. I haven't found the right book, I don't like it, I'd rather be doing something else. So we've said, one of the phrases that I keep using is, I don't want you to read because your teacher says I want you to read, I want you to read because you've decided you want to read, and that's all about finding the right book. And as well as that list, we've got a huge resource of books in our school library and within our class libraries as well. So we're certainly going to be, we've already spoken to the girls about that, and we're certainly going to be pushing the importance of reading. And they seem quite a keen bunch of readers already.
Yeah.
So with your support, we really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Talking of support at home, reading top of the list, maths. It's times tables. It's not
multiplication.
Division facts. Times tables, rock stars. We've already done 2. We hit the ground running on Monday. Poor girls have been subject to 3 times table though. We started off nice and gentle.
Can I please reiterate, 10 minutes a day, just reinforcing those tables, just getting them so they are quick and can do. So when we come to do our sheets every 3rd day, that they are able to do them so fast that they can do 60 questions in 3 minutes.
Yeah, there's a healthily competitive element to that for the main part.
And we might be just sort of emailing saying, please, they're not so hot on this times table. Do you think they could do some extra practice on those ones?
Next
I
is...
think under mental
Sorry.
health as well comes time.
Yes, telling the time.
Always a tricky one.
Yes.
Early on, if your daughter finds it difficult with reading the time on an analog clock, please just reinforce as much as you can, because we're moving on then this year to 24-hour time. So if the analog clock's not secure, they stumble at the first hurdle. So just little enough to.
And
Okay,
and
thank you.
converting between the two as well, so if they
Yeah.
haven't got one.
But just as a starter, I mean, I know from experience when my son was in year 4, I bought him an analog clock, an analog watch, and just continually asked him the time, and it really, really, really helped. He got quite fed up with me.
And you can get on your own children's nerves as well, which is
Absolutely.
a bonus of being a
Really
parent
good
as
at
well. The rest of the bullet points there are fairly self-explanatory. That last one we added on just before we came in because school clubs start next week, and some of the girls were a little bit confused over the last couple of days about whether clubs were starting this week or next week, and were coming to school and not knowing what arrangements had been made for them via you guys in the afternoons. So just a little conversation perhaps before drop off about, oh, don't forget you've got hockey club or art club or whatever. It just saves a lot of I was going to say hassle, it's not hassle, it just saves a lot of confusion for us and for you and for the girls as well. I know it's difficult because everything's new again after coming back from the back to school, but if you could just remind the girls, oh, today you've got this club or that club or there's that going on, and I think if everybody's in the loop, I think it will help things run a bit more smoothly, please. Thank you.
I think that goes for whether they're in after school club or taking the bus as well. There's been some girls who just haven't been quite sure. No doubt they have been told in the morning, but by the time they get to 3 o'clock, they might have forgotten.
And to be fair, we're almost kind of starting again as well with everything. So one more quick laser beam on there, and I think that was it. That was it. The laser beam was done. So, thank you for listening to us waffling on. We're very quite good at waffling on, especially
Some
me.
more than others.
Especially me. Yeah, obviously not technological.
Was it off you before you blind?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, team. Some planes somewhere. We've got a couple of more minutes spare, so if there are any questions about the curriculum, this is probably the best time to ask them, and the team can try and help you answer. Yes?
I was just wondering, last year we had Seesaw and Shobi. Are we having both this year, or is it just one?
It's just Shobi.
It's just Shobi, yeah.
Do you think I could be able to cope with 2?
You can barely cope with 1, so...
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
On the reading list, if our daughter's are into a specific theme, mine is Harry Potter, it doesn't appear on the reading list, is that? Do you see that valid?
No, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Any reading is really valid, but it's made even more so by the conversation around it. Harry Potter's a really popular one, just obviously be a bit where it does tend to go a little bit darker a bit later on in the later books. But reading, just read. Everything comes from reading. Even the maths, being able to do the word problems in 4, 5 and 6, they need to be able to understand the questions in order to be able to answer them. So reading just flows into everything.
We talked about reading yesterday, and because they were making their reading rivers, and what the girls had read yesterday, and we had all sorts: shopping lists, adverts on buses. You know, to the other extreme is that popular fiction, which is quite challenging for the girls in Year 4, but certainly not out of reach. I think it's absolutely yes, please.
And newspapers as well. On their iPads, they've got access to The Day, which is a weekly newspaper. But if you've got First News at home or The Week Junior, even any non-fiction texts are really good as well. Just that genre and that spread of genres is really helpful. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. Do they read out loud in school as well?
Yes.
How do they do that? Is that just sort of ad hoc or is there specific?
Well, within lessons, we're always asking them to read out loud, whether it's in an English lesson and they're actually reading part of the book that the whole class is reading.
Funnily enough, you mentioned maths word problems. In maths as well,
Yeah.
we'll often get, can you read it out loud, so you can identify the relevant vocabulary, for example. but certainly in English when the girls are writing, I will stand as close as we're allowed to and say, read that aloud and quietly, so you can then see if it makes sense.
So if Daisy's reading a book at home and filming her reading like, would she read that book to a teacher?
No. So at school, I hear them read one-to-one, but I will have my own choice of books that every single child in the class will read, and I will ask them each similar questions from it. A, to stretch them a bit, and also to introduce them to authors that they might not have chosen before. And what happens is, they start this book with me and think, I really like that book. And then you'll find they come home and, Mummy, can we buy so-and-so? So yeah.
Thank you.
And it also saves a lot of time because they come in, oh, I haven't got my book with me today.
Yeah. Good excuse. Yes.
In MFL, I noticed that girls are continuing with French, but also there's going to be an introduction of Spanish.
That's
And
right.
I just wondered how the balance goes. In terms of timetabling, does the French get scaled back, and is that something we can expect to go on through the later years, or is the French static with the Spanish building on?
Yeah, they continue to have an hour of French, so that is still the main language, and that carries right through into year 6. And they have half an hour of Spanish, and again, that carries through, but it's they have less Spanish, but they tend to, so Madame Pegnal always says that the links between the language, she will make those links, and the girls are then ready to start seeing those links and common words. But definitely French is still the main subject.
We've got time for one more. Yes.
What time are starting to read journals? Are they going to be filming them at home, or are they going to be doing it
Good question.
A mixture of both, I think, is the answer to that.
At home it will form part of their weekly homework, but we've also factored in a reading lesson within the week where we've agreed that they can fill them in, they can share them with each other, and they can share them with us as well. Because it's all very well doing all this super work. If no one gets to see it, it doesn't incentivise the girls much, does it? So yeah, a bit of both.
And as the girls are coming in at 8 now, between 8 and 8:25, there's a lot of form time there where they'll be having task sets and maybe a cryptic puzzle to try and solve, or there'll be lots of different activities they can do. One of those can be spend a bit of time in the reading journal.
We have one more. I can see how desperately.
On reading, so do they have time during the day, like quiet time, when they're actually also still reading time, or when you're free, we encourage you to do something like this?
We could factor that in, as Mr. Williams was just saying, in the mornings we've got that slot from 8 to 8:25 where the girls kind of come in sporadically, and if there's nothing that they need to just finish off, then we can certainly factor it in.
Bringing your book from home.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Don't forget, we also have that 30-minute reading slot. So
and it's nice for us to see it as well, and for the girls to show off, book recommendation.
We don't encourage it because the likelihood it's going to get broken, and the school can't cover the cost of that. But also, there's nothing I think better than the smell of and the feel of a real book. I know some of the girls like to, but I think actually a real book is something tangible, and I think it is. But we have got the libraries in the classrooms are very full. The library here, they can take a book out here. Break times, they can take a book from the treehouse out there. So there's all sorts of areas where we're just trying to really give them as much opportunity to enjoy reading. Well, thank you very much for coming. If you have any other further questions, Mr. Herworth, the team, Mrs. Bedford and the team, we'll all be outside in the reception area. And we can't wait to see you back in school and celebrating what your girls are doing on a daily basis. Thank you very much.